You're watching Newsday TV. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ken Bufa. Investigators say the firefighter in the LaGuardia runway crash heard an air traffic controller say stop, 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 but did not know who it was for. The NTSB says a crash prevention system did not generate alerts in the control tower. 2 pilots were killed in the crash last month. And a father and 15-year-old son face charges after explosive materials used to make rockets were found in their Sayas at home. Authorities say this comes after a bias incident at the high school, allegedly involving the son, led police to their house. We're told the teen had scarring and chemical burns on his hands.
Pretty scary. I'm right on the other side of the house, but nobody told me to evacuate. They just evacuated over here.
The father, Francisco Sanles, pleaded not guilty. And an East Hampton man is accused of sexually abusing a 13-year-old. Police say Carlos Fidel Gutama, who works as a carpenter, sexually abused the teen several times in November of 2022. And strangers approached 2 kids walking home from Hicksville Middle School. School officials say it happened 2 separate times on Tuesday. They say Nassau police have been notified. And a West Babylon home caught fire this morning. Now, a dozen fire departments responded to the flames on Albany Avenue. Police say a firefighter suffered burns and a resident had a smoke inhalation. The cause is under investigation. And the Suffolk County Sheriff's Office is using new technology to catch suspects. A GPS dart is launched at a runaway car so officers can track it. They can also be used for DWI, stolen vehicles, and other offenses.
The dart is deployed from the officer's vehicle, almost like the old Batman scenes where you push a button and you see something coming out.
Officials say the technology is more than 85% effective. All right, let's take a quick look at tomorrow's weather. What a stunner we had of a day today. Tomorrow will be a little more chilly, temps near 60s. You can see we'll have partly cloudy skies to start us off, but then we will have some sun. And of course, we'll have that 7-day forecast for you later in the broadcast. NUMC spent millions of dollars to create what they call a cutting-edge neurosciences department. But Newsday investigative reporter Peter DeWaria tells us that plan failed.
Back in 2022, the hospital's leadership said, we are going to create this big new department, this Department of Neurosciences. It's going to bring in a bunch of patients and revenue. The idea was sort of, they would create something that would kind of help the hospital get on stable financial footing. And so they said, this is going to be a really great high-tech new unit. We're going to do neurosurgery. They spent millions of dollars trying to set this up. They brought in a bunch of new practitioners. They hired a neurosurgeon who immediately became the highest paid employee at the hospital. And it kind of went nowhere. So we looked at procedure data from the past few years, and you can see that the number of procedures done at the hospital didn't really change. They actually went down from 2021 to 2024 and 2025. So basically it wasn't bringing in new patients and it wasn't bringing in new money, even though they're spending millions on surgeons. They did this whole renovation of this unit. We looked at payroll data. You can see how they hired a ton of people, spending almost doubled on salaries in the department. And then it's kind of started to go down. And I think this gets at some of the really significant challenges that the hospital has faced. It's losing millions of dollars every year. It's really struggling to find itself on firmer financial footing. But it's been really struggling with leadership turnover and sort of questionable management and inability to sort of stick to a strategy and keep at that strategy.
All right, here's what's up on Long Island. Vintage cars and classic rides are on display at Tobay Beach. The outdoor car show also features live music. It's Sunday on Ocean Parkway in Massapequa.
You ever see the first bicycle ever made? I don't know how to make anything. But I know you don't take the smallest wheel you can find and put that in the back.
Laugh out loud to comedian and actor Tom Papa. His Grateful Bread tour heads to the Paramount in Huntington Saturday night at 7. DJ Louis DeVito brings the beats to McKay-Hees in Wantagh Saturday night at 8. All right, it's time for the best in high school sports, so here's Jared Veluzzi.
It was an excellent week of high school sports here in April. Some great games filled with some amazing plays, including one that might just be a candidate for play of the year. As Harborfield's goalie, Frank DiPaolo, he's gonna launch this the length of the field, and it's gonna somehow go in as Harborfields took down Sayville. And staying in boys lacrosse, St. Anthony's going against Malvern Prep from Pennsylvania, two of the top teams in the country. And Jake Johnston, he dodges down the alley, but he'll split the double and score for a St. Anthony's victory. And in girls lacrosse, how about Syosset's Julie Shaughnessy, the behind-the-back finish in their one-goal loss to Long Beach. And staying in Nassau County, Belmore taking on Floral Park. And this game needed 4 overtimes, but Kristen Lichtenstein of Belmore, she's going to dodge here. She'll lose the ball, but will bat it in to give Belmore the victory. And going to flag football now, Copeg's 8th grader Gianna Lewis will go up and get it, but it was Smithtown getting the victory. And in Nassau County, Division and Belmore, it was scoreless with just 27 seconds left in the game, but Division's Abby Lawn with the interception, and she's going to go 74 yards to the house to give Division the dramatic victory. And in baseball, Max Rayburn of Center Moriches will send this one out of the park. It's a grand slam as they picked up the big-time victory. And speaking of grand slams, we're going to go to Suffolk softball, where Savannah Hess of Mount Sinai, this was her 2nd home run of the game. It's a grand slam, and Sinai picks up the victory as Hess now has 5 home runs on the year. What a season it has been for her, and Mount Sinai got another victory. As those were the plays of the week here on Long Island. I'll be back next week with some more amazing plays.
All right, let's take a look at your 7-day forecast to see how the weekend is shaping up. And it looks like we'll have some rain on Saturday and on Sunday. Tomorrow, at least, it's going to be dry and in the 60s. And you can see more rain heading our way next week. Listen, go out tomorrow because the weekend is going to be wet.
Long Island weather is brought to you by Fire Island Ferries.
Now, for more on the stories you've seen here today, head over to Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. I'm Ken Buffa. More news coming up.
There's more to Long Island than you know when you picture this. Join Macy Egland for a journey through some of the major moments in Long Island's past through the lens of the Newsday archives. Picture This, available now at Newsday.com/picture this.